Shalom Israel. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. And Shalom to the elect men out there doing this work of faith and labor of love and truth sincerity. Alright, now today's lesson is diligence is the fear of the Lord. Alright, so I'm going to jump straight into it. This is Sirach chapter 27 verse 3. Unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord, his house shall soon be overthrown. And right, the key word, here is diligently, man. So, I'm gonna just get into this word diligence just to further expound on this. All right, make this a little bigger. Yeah. So, definition of diligence. It reads: constant and earnest effort to accomplish what is undertaken. Right, so a constant and earnest effort, man. Things that be done on a consistent basis, man. To accomplish what is undertaken. What's the mission here that we are undertaking, that we're taking up? Okay, when we enter this truth, we enter a covenant with the Most High that we're willing to serve Him according to the best of our ability, to uphold the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, and to what? To help through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, to help to reel in the elect. All right, to help to feed the flock, as Yahweh said the Peter, I believe, where he said, "What? If you love me, feed my sheep." So that's the mission in which we're undertaking. In which we have to do it until the end, man. That's the mission in which we're undertaking, to constantly go out there on them highways and byways, delivering the message to the people, condemning society, and warning the people, man. That's something that's being done on a consistent basis, man. Or practicing the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability. That's something we have to do on a constant and a diligent basis, man. Paying tithes. That's a form of consistency. Because every week, every 2 weeks, however often brothers get paid, you got to give up your 10%, or through under grace of the law, you can give what you can. You know what I'm saying? I'm showing brotherly love. You got to do that on a constant basis. Going out there on them highways and byways, you got to do that on a constant basis. Putting up these shows, we got to do that on a constant basis. Studying the show thyself approved, we have to do these things on a constant basis, man. To constantly sharpen our sword and to bring out these lessons for brothers, man. This is all things, I'm saying, that the Lord wants, as far as us being diligent, man. This is all a part of being diligent, man. And studying comes first and foremost before all things, because if you don't study, then what edification can you bring out, man? So, and a lot of times when you hear brothers, get into diligence, they just mean, just the work. But the work starts with you studying, man. That starts your efforts, your earnest effort, as the definition gets to as far as you being diligent, man. All right. And it reads, persistent exertion of body or mind, because us being in this truth, it takes a toll. I'm saying, especially on our mind, dealing with demons, out there at camp. I'm saying, us being in the spiritual warfare, and us being in the spirit and in the same mind of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, us thinking differently, us seeing differently from the rest of the world. Things take a toll on your mind, man. Or certain demons trying to jump upon you. I'm saying, that you gotta, constantly cast them off in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. These things can take toll upon your mind, man. And this hell in which we're living in, all these things take time, take control, or not take control, but take a toll upon your body and your mind, man. And that's going out there in them highways and byways, being threatened by these demons, being threatened by the people. I'm saying, our bodies is on the line, man. So that's an exertion of the body, man. So I'm gonna jump back. Okay, and I'm gonna read this again. It says, unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord, his house shall be overthrown. And if you truly have the fear of the Lord upon you, you're gonna be diligent and put all effort in those different avenues, man. Into studying, into fasting, into praying, all these different avenues, which shows that you have the true fear of the Lord upon you, man. All right. I got a precept here. This is Proverbs chapter 1 verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, as the is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Right. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, man. You know, of knowing these holy scriptures, having the knowledge, the understanding, and the wisdom. This is the beginning of knowledge. Also, what? To have that reverence, to have that respect for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That's the beginning of knowledge. That's why that's the first commandment to not have any other gods before the Lord, man. You know, because these holy scriptures is an instruction manual for us as Israelites, for us as our inheritance, for us as our this being our heritage, man. Okay, this is our instruction manual. So within this instruction manual, you know, from the Lord, the first thing we have to know is that we have to have that reverence, that respect for Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, that's the first thing we have to know within this instruction manual, all right? Okay, next precept here I got is Psalms chapter 111, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endure forever. And right, you'll have a good understanding if you're doing the commandments, law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, because what that shows diligence. Okay, and it says what? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, because what? A man that has knowledge, you know, to have knowledge, you will know that you have to use wisdom for all situations, and you know what I mean, by dealing with things wisely, that you will hide yourself within the knowledge of these scriptures, man. You know, and hoping that you can escape the judgment of the Lord and that you can reap the benefits of the Lord and again to get taken up in them chariots, man. That's what a wise man would do. A wise man discerns the good from the evil, and a wise man has the knowledge to discern the times in which we're living in, and that's what we do, man, by having that fear of the Lord upon us, having that spiritual discernment, having a wise dome. That's what wisdom is, man. Having a wise mind, okay, and applying things. You know what I'm saying? That's why it says what? A good understanding have all they that do his commandments, okay? Because it's a step process. You get the knowledge, you know, you get the understanding of what you're reading, and you apply your understanding to obtain wisdom, man. Okay, that's a 3-step process within this thing, man. But wisdom is the principal thing, man. All right, as far as us walking righteously within this truth and making the right decisions within this truth, so that we don't go off according to the spirit of the Lord, man. All right, and yeah, the next precept I got here is yeah, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 20. Therefore, the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom. Right? Because when you think of wisdom, I mean, a perfect person or example through the scriptures who you would think of is who? King Solomon. You know, because what did King Solomon ask for? He didn't ask for all the riches in the world. He didn't ask for all the women in the world. He didn't ask for all his enemies to be slayed. But he asked the Lord, can he place the spirit upon him, the spirit of discernment, to know how to judge the people? So therefore, what did Solomon truly ask for? He asked for wisdom. He desired wisdom within his inward parts, man. That's why his desire of wisdom, you know what I'm saying, him praying to the Lord, the Most High granted him the kingdom. And Solomon had what? A prosperous rule throughout the kingdom, man. Okay? And also too, you know what I'm saying, and that's what we're praying for. That's what we're hoping for. What? That our, you know, through the spirit of the Lord, that we can inherit the kingdom, but we have to do that first and foremost by the knowledge and understanding and by the wisdom, because that's why the scripture said, what? The desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom, man. Okay? By us using wise decisions and having that spiritual discernment upon us, man. All right? And two, jumping back, you know, a point that ties in, jumping back, I'm going to read this one last time. Unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord, his house shall soon be overthrown. Right? And when you think about the house, you know what I'm saying, what? Solomon built the temple for the Lord, which took, I believe, approximately like 20 years, okay? To show you that what is going to take time, you know what I'm saying, to build up the kingdom. And for us, you know what I'm saying, that's pushing the truth with sincerity. I mean, all the works, all the labor, all the toil that brothers is putting in, whether you've been in the truth for a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, what we're building our inheritance. We're building the kingdom for ourselves as we speak, as we're doing this work. Okay, that's what we're laboring for. That's why Yahweh Shai said, what? Every man shall be rewarded according to his works. So now, by us doing all this laboring, we're building up the kingdom for ourselves, okay? And that's going to be our house, all right? And if we don't hold ourselves diligently or within these different avenues of the truth, what? All of our works and our house shall be overthrown, and we won't receive the kingdom, man. Okay, because what? The Mossad, coming with his Yahweh Bashim Yahushua coming with the reward for us. You know what I'm saying? They could want to give you as much land as a city. You know what I'm saying? The Lord could want to give you a planet. The Lord could want to give you 5 planets, man. You know? But we have to continue to labor and to constantly be diligent with this thing, or what the Mossad can sick Satan, put the spirit of Satan upon us. I mean, sick Satan on us. You know what I'm saying? To get us to start getting lukewarm and start getting cold, and then what? Our house will be overthrown, man. You know. So having that diligence in all these different avenues, that truly shows that you have the fear of the Lord upon you, man. Okay, and that's what we all seeking. You know what I'm saying? Is to enter that kingdom, that heavenly rest. So, brothers, we just gotta be consistent, you know what I'm saying, with all things pertaining to the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, have the love of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, have that fear, that reverence, and respect for Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, and do all things pertaining to the spirit, and constantly try to stay in the spirit as much as possible, you know what I'm saying, and constantly endure this great fight of affliction in these battles day in and day out, man. So, with that, I'm going to conclude this lesson. You know what I'm saying, I hope, this lesson was edifying for brothers out there. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to the electmen out there doing this work of faith and this labor of love and truth, sincerity. Shalom, death to America.